Good evening. I am your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is today's Tax Talk. It's also a very special day because it's Crypto Tuesday. So thanks for joining us. Let's get right to it. Crypto Tuesday. It's kind of amazing. So, I've been doing a Crypto Tuesday now for some weeks. Not exactly sure how long, but how crypto has changed in just those couple of weeks and the credibility that it's gotten in those couple of weeks, making very big strides to becoming a universal transfer of wealth. It's amazing. We had the big collapse a couple of weeks ago. Everybody was sure, or many people were sure, that it was on the way down. It was never coming back, and yet it did come back. And I think a couple of days ago, it was in the 50s, almost doubled the price for Bitcoin, and other coins too, kind of match whatever Bitcoin's doing. And so it's been kind of amazing. We've seen the United States Congress talk about these things and kind of dismiss crypto. I know the IRS, as I've been mentioning here on this show many times, that the IRS is using it as one of the boogeymen to get reason why they need more money because people are stealing via crypto. I don't think that's the case anymore. And of course, they're coming up with laws in Congress to stop this. And as we were talking about those rules and the bill in Congress, which defines what a crypto broker is very broad and might put a damper on the growth of crypto. And nobody seemed to care. Well, they do care now, and they're reevaluating it in just a couple of weeks. So that's the first story we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how Congress is making a difference. And it's they've changed totally about how several weeks ago, how everybody just, whatever a broker is what we say it is, and nobody seems to care. Who cares what the definition is? And there's been a lot of constituency calling. So this is the first story. Tax reporting proposal creates a defining moment for the crypto industry. A small section of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill that would place new tax reporting requirements on the cryptocurrency industry has generated a wave of lobbying. Calls from the constituents supporting the industry have grabbed lawmakers' attention, and the crypto industry and allies hope to still change the law before it takes effect. Again, a couple of weeks ago, they passed it through the Senate. They tried to change it. They tried to hold up the bill. There was some senators trying to hold up the bill to change the definition of that broker, and they couldn't do it. And nobody seemed to go along with them. But now it's in the House, and it's passing in the House, and now they want to go back to the Senate and change it again, and because it hasn't passed yet, it's not official yet. So let's read a little bit of this story. A small section of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill has generated a flurry of lobbying from the cryptocurrency industry, creating a defining moment for the sector's presence in Washington. Again, it's big, right? If the more power they have, the bigger the value, the more people are involved, the more power they'll have in Washington to script what it comes out in these bills. Though industry players failed to change what they see as a problematic language in the new tax reporting requirements for cryptocurrency brokers in the Senate version of the bill, they remain hopeful that the House lawmakers can take steps to answer their concerns. That optimism is fueled in part by the outpouring of support the industry has seen from citizens who called their senators' offices, urging them to change the language. Industry proponents say the definition of a broker in the Senate version of the bill is too broad and would require software developers who don't have the customer information needed to comply with the law to report such data for tax purposes. Again, this is all about the IRS targeting these exchanges and anybody with cryptocurrency to make sure they can't trade without paying their fair share, whatever that means. Because of the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency, these types of workers couldn't access such customer info even if they wanted to. That means some businesses would have to operate in a gray area or take their work outside the U.S. While the Treasury Department could still define the term more narrowly, some fear that that leaves too much up to chance from one administration to the next. Industry advocates say that support appropriate taxation and want tax reporting guidance, but they also say that the current language misses the mark. Though the provision of the has been unwelcome wake-up call for the industry, it has also crystallized its influence in Congress. Digital rights organization Fight for the Future said it saw more than 40,000 calls to Congress ahead of the Senate infrastructure vote. Even though this language has been negative for the industry, and this is important, I think is an important paragraph here, it's been a positive in that it really has brought everyone together and shown that crypto knows how to apply some level of influence in Washington. I think it's the first time that lawmakers have taken crypto seriously on a broad scale, so we're able to have a different level of conversation than we've been able to have in the past because they know that so many of their constituents care. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit so people can see it a little better. So, Evan Greer, director of the Fight for Future, called the influx of messages to the Senate the biggest outpouring of grassroots energy that I have seen in my entire career as a digital rights activist, other than net neutrality and the SOPA strike, referring to the protest of the Stop Online Piracy Act of 2011. And lawmakers took notice. I was getting notes from Senate offices just like, what is all this about? We're flooded with phone calls. Now in the House, bipartisan leaders of the blockchain caucus. Did you know there was a blockchain caucus? I did not know that there was a blockchain caucus. But it's obviously it's important to have that. It's the cutting edge of technology, and we better understand it and get our laws right. Said in an interview he would introduce two bills echoing the proposed amendment in the Senate that aimed to alter the broker definition. Those amendments didn't get a vote in the Senate, and since there will likely not be a chance for the amendments in the House, he hopes that to pass the bills through the reconciliation process. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said she wants the chamber to vote on the infrastructure bill by September 27th. Compared with the Senate, the House has the benefit of a robust, long-standing blockchain caucus that is established in the chamber and has about 30 members. Some blockchain players have stepped up lobbying spending in recent quarters through disclosure from the most recent quarter that would include the infrastructure vote period are not yet available. But second quarter disclosures show the Blockchain Association increased its spending from the previous quarter by 23% to $160,000. The Chamber of Digital Commerce, which represents a mix of tech and finance companies, ramped up its lobbying spend by more than 100% from the first to second quarter, spending $62,000 in quarter two. He said that the sheer amount of attention the cryptocurrency provision has generated in Congress shows how far the industry has come. And again, I'm echoing that. It's amazing in just this short time how much mainstream it has become. It shows from the market point of view, it's arrived. Now you have senators and powerful House members grappling over how to best do the provision. It's not an afterthought anymore. It's not an obscure technology. It's one of the main debates right now as we draft our infrastructure proposals. For a long time, this technology and this community has just dismissed as like a hobbyist industry or crypto, just a speculative asset. There's no real use case. And I think that has changed. And I think more people are starting to understand how important this technology is going to be for the future of our economy. And they're taking some serious, taking it more seriously. Again, this is the halls of Congress where really it's going to have power to change the rules, right? They're trying to change the rules that to affect the taxes, but they see that this is going to have a negative impact on the industry. And the industry is growing so fast, and so many are associated with it, that they're not going to be able to do it in the dark anymore and just kind of do whatever they feel like. They being the senators and the congressmen. They're going to have to take notice, and people are noticing what they're doing. And again, that's an important thing. So the second story, let's talk a little bit about. The second story is a follow-up on a story we did a couple of weeks ago about El Salvador. Now remember, El Salvador is the first company of the first nation that's taking crypto as one of its national currency. And so in the starting, I think it's September 7th, but let's find out. It's in the story. Let me also blow this up so we can see it. Okay, here we go. The government will. Here, let's go back. Why is all this is an important. So I won't read this whole story, but in El Salvador, Chivo, I looked it up, so I said it right. It's also slang for cool. It's also the name of a new Bitcoin wallet app, which the president plans to launch on September 7th, as I said, the day the nation becomes the first in the world to adopt Bitcoin as one of its national currencies. But the tech-savvy president has made Bitcoin adoption happen, ought to know that the coolness can't be forced. In recent days, some citizens and economists who question the wisdom of the bold plan are making that much clearer with street protests. So there's lots of protests in El Salvador about Bitcoin and becoming the currency. But his daring move was widely celebrated by Bitcoin community, where he revealed his intentions in June. Under the country's Bitcoin law, businesses would be obligated to accept Bitcoin or the U.S. dollar, the country's other official currency, as payment. Either could be used to pay taxes or bank loans, according to the Wall Street Journal. Salaries and pensions would still be paid in dollars. Okay, the government will spend $75 million to airdrop $30 worth of Bitcoin into the Chivo wallets accessed by an online app, according to the Wall Street Journal. That funding would cover the cost of seeding 2.5 million users with Bitcoin in a country of 6.5 million. So what is that? A third? A third? Looks like a little more than a third. For reference, $30 is approximately 0.00062 of a full Bitcoin today. Where today they were trading about $48,000. The government has also created a $150 million fund to support the Bitcoin to U.S. dollar conversions and is rolling out the Chivo ATMs. We mentioned that was our big story a couple of weeks ago, is that how many ATMs that they're putting in place in El Salvador. And the mining they're doing in El Salvador, they're creating a mining industry, hoping to use their hydro and I believe the gas to create electricity, so it's green. Because a lot of crypto enthusiasts object to using oil to produce the electricity in order to mine the crypto. And so to overcome that, El Salvador wants to make their crypto mining a green industry. His supporters believe the flourishing citizens with cryptocurrency will seed a brighter, wealthier future for the country. According to the president, adopting Bitcoin, which is easy to send across borders, will greatly reduce the fees people pay to send and receive remittance. Now remember, a big part of all these economies are people working here in America who send their money back to El Salvador and Guatemala and Mexico, and they pay a lot of money to convert the money and to send it overseas. I think a lot of them use these U.S. Cashier's checks, things like that. U.S. Western Union, things like that cost a lot of money to send money back. So if you can adopt Bitcoin, well, you can send that back and forth for almost zero exchange transaction fees. And that would help. So instead of the money going to companies, the intermediaries, to transfer the money, that money could best be spent in their economy, so they believe. The shift is meant to attract foreign investment and entrepreneurs in this crypto space. Bank of America suggested El Salvador's new Bitcoin policy could help modernize banking and increase access to digital payments in a country where 70% of the citizens do not have a bank account. Why not everyone buys okay, so they're not all on board. Of course, change always has people that object to the change, but it's another thing, to get this to work. The IMF warns the International Monetary Fund. They object. So there's a lot of objections. So that's the second story to show that kind of goes with the same, that the credibility. Now it's coming as a national currency. So the U.S. Congress has taken notice. The El Salvador is taking notice, and the IMF is taking notice, and they're all taking they're all taking this cryptocurrency move very seriously. And again, I think until very recently, it was not taken seriously. It was more of a hobbyist thing, and people were waiting for it to crash and burn and go away. But it didn't go away. It's becoming more and more prevalent. The third story I'm going to talk about is it talks about doing some futures. And here's why Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, eyes crypto. DeFi's potential is in disrupting traditional finance. So Mr. Wonderful has taken a 180. He was against this. He didn't think there was any future in crypto, but he's changed his mind. So Kevin O'Leary, chairman, Mr. Wonderful, in the reality show Shark Tank, said he's excited about decentralized finance's potential to disrupt traditional finance, but anticipates a long road for institutional adoption. I think it happens faster than people think. It's going to take this long. But it happens overnight sometimes. But I just wanted to read some of this because what they're doing, I have to buy FX traders to do the conversion, as they add absolutely no. So anyway, what's going on is he's investing in a lot of these companies, and a lot of these companies. So here I have done a 180 on that situation, as the regulator has in some respects become more flexible, particularly in countries like Germany, Switzerland, England, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, places where I now invest, he said. He also anticipates more wriggle room in the terms of U.S. regulations over time. O'Leary also started investing in crypto as a hedge against inflation. With inflation rates at 2%, I'm actually losing money holding cash, he said. So there's some hurdles to institutional adoption, and there's some and others. So I just wanted to bring that story in because many people who are involved in investment finance are taking note. And as Mr. O'Leary Mr. Wonderful has shown, he's done a 180. He was against it. He didn't want to be viewed as a cowboy, a crypto cowboy, as he put it. But now he's all in, and he's investing heavily in these industries. And it's happening, big companies. Last week we talked about big companies buying these ATM companies. We talked about coin flip and getting money from the state of Illinois and increasing their size and increasing their workforce, and how this all benefits the local area. So, crypto's getting the cred. It's important. It's coming. It's here, and it's going to start, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, in my mind. Again, it's still speculative. It may happen, but we'll see. So, thanks so much for now. Remember, if you liked what you saw here today, then please share, like, subscribe. Again, share, like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Put it in the comments there. We'll respond to your comments. If you're on Facebook, like it, share it. Wherever other venues that you see this, please, we ask you to share this with your friends. There's lots of great information. Remember, we do Crypto Tuesday every Tuesday, right? Other days we talk about taxes and generally other finances, debt-related issues, but mostly taxes, cryptocurrency. So if you have any interest in it, please like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. And like always, if you're having problems with the IRS, get a copy of my book. deal with your IRS problem today. Go to freeirsbook.com, freeirsbook.com. Get a copy of my book, and you can learn how to fight the IRS. And that's what we generally help people do. So remember, we help people fight the IRS and solve their IRS problem forever. Okay, so if that has any value to you, get the book at freeirsbook.com. So again, thanks so much for your time here today. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to view it. And again, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll really help us out. So thank you so much. And I guess we'll see you.